Hey, I'm Kyle Carter. I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Davenport Partnership, and I'm here at Ragged Records and Trash Can Annie's today, and excited to be part of Favorite Finds with KALA. I haven't heard this yet, but I want to. What do we have on the Weezer front? Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I graduated in '04, and so we have been coming to Ragged Records for a long time and discovered both Bob and Laura around the same time when they had the old shop on Brady Street. I still remember some albums that I found there that I cherish that are increasingly hard to find today. Another one of my longtime favorites that my wife introduced me to, who's also a St. Ambrose grad, by the way, is KT Tunstall. And they happen to have something here that is really hard to find and just an awesome record. So it's Acoustic Extravaganza. This came out very early 2000s. It's actually pretty hard to come by, and it's awesome that Ragged has it here. It's just super raw. She recorded it in a house, I think, very quickly, and there's just the versions of these songs that are on here are just unlike anything else, and I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. And as hard as it is to find, it's worth the effort to dig up. Digging through the jazz section, which is always incredible here at Ragged, and looking for one of my favorites, Sonny Stitt. Underrated saxophone player, gets overshadowed, I think, a lot by Bird and a lot of the other, just more well-known horn players of this era of kind of the 50s, 60s, etc. I actually don't have this record and have never heard it, but I know that everything I've ever heard of this guy I like. In fact, every morning in the office when I get to work, like 9 out of 10 times, this is the guy I put on when I'm still pouring coffee and trying to get my head straight. This dude rules, and if you're just starting to get into jazz or really don't know a lot of a lot of big names, this is one that you should probably dig up. You've got Miles and everybody else that you're a little bit more popular, but Sonny Stitt is well known among jazz aficionados, not so much among the general populace, but check it out, worth it. And now I'm really curious to hear this. Digging through the CD section, because that's, vinyl is not the end-all be-all. I still have a ton of CDs. Actually, still have all of my CDs from high school. I'm very proud of that. Ben Folds, speaking of high school, was always a huge influence on me, and I've been digging around through here, and they have a couple of really interesting ones, but Naked Baby photos in particular. This is like a really weird live, deep cut. There's songs on here, Emmeline, Eddie Walker, a live version of Underground, Tom and Mary, which isn't on any other record. These are all like stuff that you just cannot get on any other Ben Folds album. But this one, I love the artwork on this one on the back too, very Beavis and Butthead, very much of its time. But I think this gets overlooked a lot by Ben Folds 5 fans, and it's actually pretty hard to find. Cool that they have it here. While I'm at it, they have a Ben Folds Live at Tower Records from the Songs for Silverman era. Never seen this before in my life. Super cool that they have it here. And also the Live at MySpace, which I also actually remember but never had a physical copy of. So, because CDs are so affordable, I think I'll take all three. Also on my favorites list is Dawes. Been a big fan of them ever since they first played at Ribco, actually, in Rock Island. And that show I'll always remember because it felt like we were watching a young version of The Boss on stage. Like, they were just on fire. It was right when their first record came out, and they had tons of energy, and they were just, I was hooked ever since. And the whole lineup that night was good, but Dawes definitely stole the show. Now, among the records here today at Ragged, though, is one of their last records they put out as a full band, Misadventures of Doom Scroller, which is very jammy and different than most of their stuff. They're known for being kind of straight-ahead Americana rock, great song. Taylor Goldsmith, incredible songwriter. But this song, this record, they really stretch. Like in this album, they jam a lot. They're long songs. There's like 10-minute songs on here, but killer. Like, it's just so good. And I did not get to see this tour, and I'm still salty about it. Our child was born the year this came out, and that was really difficult to tour. Or excuse me, it came out the year after my kid was born, so even worse. He was within 1. Flipping over to kind of the indie rock side of the house, Jenny Lewis is definitely one of my all-time favorites, and saw her at Codfish Hollow at the Barn, which was a Day Trotter show back in the day. Speaking of which, we're right next to Local Natives here in the section, which there was an epic show in downtown Rock Island years ago with Local Natives, if you can believe that, on the plaza out in front of Ribco. But anyway, I digress. So Jenny Lewis at the Barn, this Voyager record is just killer, like beginning to end, like all killer, no filler, just good song after good song. And back when I was part of Analog, we actually made tokens with Jenny Lewis's face on them, and turned Desi from Bucktown at the time. Desi turned them into earrings, and we were able to give Jenny those earrings at the Barn backstage after the show, after she just like slayed it on stage. And so this record will always remind me of that night, because this was the tour she was on at the time, and it's a really good record anyway. But that was something I will never forget. And I mean, who doesn't love Jenny Lewis? Looking forward to reliving that experience. On our way over here, I'm looking through the W's, which has probably my favorite band of all time, Weezer, which you never know what you're gonna find when you start digging for Weezer, because first of all, you usually find Waxahachie and Ween adjacent. They've got a ton of deep cuts here at Ragged. And out of the list of strange Weezer records that make up what's in here, Maladroit, OK Human, Black Album, I would have to say that Van Weezer is probably my favorite among them of what's here. Blue Album is still my favorite of all time, with Pinkerton being a close second. But this is actually an underrated record. For me, it kind of came out in pandemic-ish, if I'm not mistaken. And, there's actually a couple of really good singles off of here, and the whole record's actually pretty good. And Weezer albums, especially the modern era, they've always got at least 1 or 2 tracks that are worth picking up the record for. And I will definitely be taking this one home on vinyl. And if you haven't given this one a chance, you should. Part of the Weezer experience here was Laura finding me a very Blue Album-ish shirt, and while I did not walk home with the Blue Album today, this shirt is very inspired by it. And Trash Can Annie's always has the best stuff. I've been shopping here for almost 20 years, which is incredible to think, and I'm very appreciative of Laura always making me look good. So thanks for watching this episode of Favorite Finds with KALA. We really appreciate the support of a downtown business in both Ragged Records and Trash Can Annie. Hopefully this was an education on all the many treasures that you can find here, and just really appreciate everyone's support of these small businesses and being part of the Quad Cities.